So I got another whiteboard full of questions here. I'll do another Q&A video. This will be the 7th one now. The first question comes from Joey Mende. Hopefully I said your last name right. And this question comes in response to the last video I did in which I was talking about how to maximize the anabolic response and minimize the catabolic response. He basically just said, I'm having a difficult time understanding this information. So what I'm going to try to do real quick is just simplify it as best I can. Now before I get started, you got to understand one thing. The body needs fuel, for the lack of a better term, for everything. You need fuel to train and you need fuel to recover from training. So the way it works is like this. You train, you break the body down with the hope that the body reacts by building itself back up. Remember, building muscle is a reaction. The body's a reactive organism. So you're not consciously building muscle. The choice you're in control of is going to the gym and breaking your body down. So you do that, the body needs fuel to do all this. If you run out of fuel, this is bad. Now, why would you run out of fuel? Because you either overworked, underfed, or a combination of the two. When you run out of fuel, survival becomes the body's priority. Survival is greater than muscle. So it shuts down muscle building and refueling becomes the priority. However, it needs fuel to refuel. So because you ran out of fuel, refueling is limited. So what are you in control of that can prevent and preserve the fuel that you have right now? Pre-fueling. So the recommendation was to take protein and carbs pre-workout. And the reason for this is so that fuel is readily available. There's other reasons as well, but the primary reason is so that fuel is readily available. So people asking what types of foods to eat. Here's the thing. Pasta is not readily available. Sweet potatoes are not readily available. Chicken, steak, not readily available. I always say, diet, supplementation, nutrition, not my area of expertise. However, in this case, I'll provide insight and try to point you in the right direction so you can do the research for yourself. Look into di and tripeptides from casein hydrolysate. Also look into highly branched cyclic dextrins. That's all I'm going to say on the matter, so hopefully that helps you. Hesham had a question about the reverse grip bench press. Is it better for the upper chest? Better than what? Depends on a lot of things. Could be better than some things, could be worse than others. And the relationship between internal and external rotation. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about the pros and cons real quick. The major con coming right out of the gate, you can't use as much weight. The pros, depending on why you're doing what you do, the external rotation at the shoulder, remember the pec's an internal rotator. You want to stretch the pec, you got to externally rotate the shoulder. So the muscle that is stretched the most is generally recruited the most. You might not get the greatest pec contraction, but you might stretch it to a greater degree. So it's a tool you can use for that purpose. Also, the underhand grip promotes the elbow staying closer to the body. The closer the elbow is to the body, overhand or underhand grip, the more the upper pec is in a position to be more responsible for producing force to perform the direction of effort. So is it a tool that I've used? Yes. Is it a tool that I'll use again? Yes. Is it a tool that I use exclusively? No. So hopefully that answers some of your questions there. Brandan bf0real Lopez had a question regarding adaptation. He basically said, if a 10-pound increase in performance is possible, do you have to adapt to the new weight? So this is like saying, depending on where in the world you live, if you're driving at 50, the speed limit is 50 miles, kilometers, don't focus on that, but if you're at 50 and they increase it to 60, do you have to adapt to that? I mean, there might be some sort of adaptation, but it'll be minimal. So the way it works is like this. When you start doing something, your body's going to try to find ways to reduce the demand of whatever it is you're forcing it to do. So it has two ways to go about this. Either get better at doing whatever you're doing, so from a relative standpoint, the demand is less, or to build muscle to be more physically prepared so the demand is less. It's harder and longer to build muscle. So what's it going to do? It's going to just get better. The brain is going to become more efficient at using your muscles to do whatever you're doing. After a certain point, it can't get any more efficient. If you keep doing what you're doing, the body has to build muscle. So the reason you got stronger is either because you got better at doing what you're doing, or you built muscle, or a combination of the two. Do you have to adapt to the new weight? To some degree, but not much. You like the information, share it, click the fucking button at the bottom, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep bringing you the best information you're going to find as it relates to training to build muscle, get stronger, lose fat, look better, perform better, all that fucking shit.